I'm curious if you could talk to us a little bit about the story we tell ourselves. It's Martin Luther King Day, so we can think about both the darkness and the light, if I may. And the story we tell ourselves sometimes is we're better than this. And that can be a bridge because Dr. King talked that way sometimes, but only enforced by action. And then the other part of the story, the darkness, is this is who we've always been. Right now, we're dealing with the popularity of autocratic leadership and violence in place of politics. That's not new to our history. It's not new to Martin Luther King Day. We mark an assassination. It's not new to the civil rights and black struggle in America, where the threat and use of violence was a constant feature. So I'm curious if you could, speak to us, educate us a little bit about that, because there's hope. I don't think it has to be all of us forever. But there's also reality of violence against peaceful or civic action, which hangs over, of course, the coup trial in the future. That's very, very redolent to many of America's communities for a long time.
That's right. And what happens when we ignore our history, when we ban books, when we deny the basic facts of how we've never truly been a truly representative, multiracial democracy? We've always had to struggle for that. It's always been a contest between the many and the few to have a seat at the table. When we deny that truth, we fail to give ordinary Americans a chance to be the heroes in the story, right? Because if everything that was important, every struggle for justice either happened, in Dr. King's day and is finished and complete, and now all we have to do is be a colorblind society, then what is the everyday American to do in the face of inequality today, of widespread poverty, of mass incarceration, of police violence, right? You're not called to be a part of a movement if you pretend that it all happened in the past. And of course, if you deny that it ever happened at all, then you fail to see the everyday heroes, white, black, and brown, who helped make this country truly pull forward into the future throughout our history. And so I think today, which is, oftentimes talked about as a day of service, I think it's more important for us to think about what we are going to do with our time on this earth, to recommit to the ideals that actually do unite Americans. There's a new annual poll called the Heart of America poll from the National Collaborative for Health Equity that shows that 8 in 10 Americans believe that we should have diversity in the workplace and that we should educate children about the history of racism in America, including 3 in 4 Republicans. And I know that sounds like, well, what is that? How could that possibly be the same Republican Party that supports Donald Trump? It's because fundamentally, just as we've always been a somewhat divided nation, we hear every day narratives that want to push us apart, from politicians, from paid bullies in the corporate media. And we also hear in our communities, in our places of worship, narratives that want to pull us together. And so we've got to keep contending and fighting for the story that will help America survive as it becomes more and more racially diverse.